Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Friday. Woo, this is early, right? This is early. Happy Friday. I am Stephanie A. Wynn. If I'm new to your timeline, I know it's early and some of you are probably still sleeping, but the early bird gets the worm. And, and I had to do an early one today, y'all. So, today, we're going to be talking about the two tools to help you get more book sales for authors. This is for my author community. So if you're an author, chime in. If you know someone who is an author, tag them. You know, I really want to give you these tools this week. So if you're not an author, but you aspire to be, you're in the right place. So let's get started. Let me turn down my phone right here. All right. So, good morning, everybody. Again, today we're going to be talking about the two tools to help authors get more book sales, right? And I know there are some authors, I see a lot of authors who are frustrated because, once they get their book in their hand, the buzz died down after they've sold to their friends and family, and then they don't know what else to do. And usually that's because there's no plan. There's no plan in place. There's not a plan. And it doesn't matter if you're an author, if you have a business, if you plan to do something, you got to have a plan. So I'm going to get right to it this morning. I'm not going to keep you long. Not going to keep you long. We're going to get right to it today. So, a little bit about me. My name is Stephanie A. Wynn, and I am an author, and I love all things entrepreneurship. I eat, sleep, and breathe entrepreneurship. I started my very first business at the age of 23 and was the youngest woman of color in my city to have an ice cream shop on the south side, the youngest female to have a ice cream shop in my local city. And I conducted that business propelled me and prompted me to start start the writing process with my book. So that from there, once I wrote the book, we conducted a nationwide book tour, um, and again, that also propelled me to be to move forward with um, helping entrepreneurs get clarity on their ideal customer and build their business brand by providing business development strategies that generate revenue. So again, I'm super excited, and we're gonna get right into today's topic. Okay. So, for those who have not registered for the How I Turned My $20 book into a five-figure business, um, be sure to register. I'll be putting more information at the end. It starts next Thursday. We're going to be attacking a lot of things, and the reason why I want to talk about this early on so that grab your seat because the seats are going fast. All right, so let's get into this. So the first tool that you're going to need when you are wanting to generate more book sales, you're going to need an email marketing software. And the reason why I want to talk about this tool is because a lot of times authors, we're so busy trying to do pop-ups, vending spots. We're doing book signings, and maybe you are, or maybe you haven't, and maybe your goal is to one day do those things, and you simply don't have an email marketing software in place. And so what happens is some authors, what they do is they start emailing people massively, like in Google. And if you don't have Google used to be called the workspace. Well, it's called the Google Workspace. If you just have a regular Google account, sometimes you'll get flagged as spam and they'll block your account. I did that in the beginning before I even knew about email marketing. Um, Again, nobody told me about it. I just ended up getting flagged. So you want to make sure that you have You want to make sure that you have an email marketing software. So I know you're probably asking me, well, Stephanie, what is the email marketing software? Well, I'm going to get to that right now, right? I'm going to get to that right away. I'm going to get to that right away. I promise I won't leave you hanging. So remember, as you're moving about, I know a lot of people have gotten out and we're doing a lot of what do they ask? A lot of people are doing like pop-up shops, or they're going to conferences and things of that nature. And what I want you to start thinking about is this: who are um who are the people that I'm going to meet in these events, right? And how am I going to be obtaining their email? If they purchase your book, how are you going to stay in connection with these people? And in order to do this, you need to have some type of email sign up at your table. So a lot of times authors, because you're so excited about getting the sale, you miss this part. This part is missed, and you have to have an email marketing strategy and a campaign to sell more books. Remember, the money is in your list and the money is in the follow up. So, again, you want to have an email marketing software, right? So let's get into the type of software. Now, there's many softwares out here, but I'm going to give you the one that I prefer, and I'll list some. You can go and research them for yourself. But here's let's get right into it. So what is an email marketing software? So an email marketing software is used to send emails to a mass of people, right? And it allows you to track your email marketing campaign. So if you have an email marketing campaign, let's say you're having an event coming up and you want to get the people into your event, well, what you would do is you would create an email marketing campaign for that particular event. And what the email marketing software does, it allows you to tag the people for that particular event, so that when you're going back to engage with your email list, you'll know where you've gotten these people's email from. It's really super simple and it's super simplistic, but again, you're going to need an email marketing software when you're out here doing your book signings, you're doing your pop-ups, you're doing your vending. A lot of authors, and I'm not saying all authors, but many authors miss this part. Many authors, and that's why the buzz dies down, because you're frustrated because you don't know what to do next after you've done the pop-up. You got to follow up with the people that you're meeting out here on these book signing streets, on these pop-up streets, on these vending streets, on these conferences speech streets. You have to, when you're going to these events and these conferences, and let me get a little close with you guys. When you're going to these events and conferences, you want to be intentional about the people that you're meeting. I'm just saying, like, who are you meeting? Why are you meeting these people, and what's the goal? What are your plans for that? So again, you need an email marketing software. Take a screenshot. You can Google it. They'll probably go into more technical terms, but I put it in simplistic terms so you can kind of understand, like, you need an email marketing software, so when you're conversing with other people, you'll actually know how you can follow up with them as you're going about your day. Okay, let's move right along. Okay, so here's one of the email marketing softwares that I use. I use ConvertKit. ConvertKit it's a user-friendly email marketing software, and the reason why I use ConvertKit is because ConvertKit is super, super simplistic to me. Let me tell you why it's super simplistic. It's it's not so technical. And I'm not saying the others aren't, but if you're really not tech savvy, if to me, ConvertKit is just super simple. I used to use MailChimp, and I went from MailChimp to ConvertKit because it's easier for me to navigate. And what I like about ConvertKit is, and I'll show you in a minute, I like ConvertKit because ConvertKit offers, say you want to do a book launch, or you want to do they have the landing pages for your book release. They have, like, if you want the people to subscribe to signing up to get like, hey, my book is on the way, to get them on the waiting list. They have this option. Now, I'm not saying ConvertKit is the end all be all, because there's many other, there's MailerLite, there's Constant Contact, there's a host of, you got HubSpot, you got so many email marketing softwares out here. You know, when you start getting into CRMs, which are customer relationship management systems, I mean, you have, I mean, Dubsado, 17 Hats, you have a lot of them. But I prefer ConvertKit because it is super, super simplistic, and I can easily, I could easily, you know, copy and paste my email after I've written out my typed out my email. I can copy and paste, send it on, and it's just easier for me. And then one of the other things too is like you can integrate your other apps. MailChimp has this option too. All of them have integration, but it's just super easy for me to do that. I don't have to sit there for hours and hours and think about like how to get from this to this, or I have to wait for the system to catch up. I'm not down in MailChimp, but again, ConvertKit for me is super, super, super user friendly, in my opinion. Okay. So here are some of ConvertKit. Like I said, here's one of the second feature for ConvertKit. They have visual automation templates for authors. So let's say you want to do a release a new book, right? So they have the landing pages and the sequence already set up for you. So all you have to do is go in there and insert your emails, and you're on your way. And you can even preview this before you select this template. For my authors who um are podcasters, this is also they also have a template in here too, an automation, visual automation for podcasters if you want to release a podcast. So again, I love ConvertKit. It is super, super duper easy for me to navigate, and it gives me so many options. Now, if you're doing a book launch, if you're doing a book, you know, a podcast interview, if it's so many options that I did not see in MailChimp. And I really, really think I like that it's easy for me to use. And I can also create a sequence of um, different things for my campaign. So again, if you're having events or workshops, webinars, and you're on a budget, I mean, MailChimp is free. ConvertKit offers a free trial. But again, I'm simple. I need simplicity. This is a good feature. And again, for my author community, if you're releasing a book, if you have a new book release, this is the way to go. I'm just saying. So ConvertKit would be definitely the way to go if that's something that, if you're wanting to set up your email marketing software. Now remember, you must have an email marketing campaign. All authors, not just authors, but if you're in business, you should have some type of email marketing campaign. And a lot of times, and I'm going to say this, and let me get a little close here. A lot of times we want to run our business based off of referrals, or they'll just come to me. If they see my business, they see me out here, people will come. That's not necessarily the case. Your money is in your list, email list, and especially if you're wanting to sell more books. And I'll get right into the next tool that you're going to need to generate more book sales. If you're wanting to go far, again, you got to think big, you got to think massive. And so when I say that, it just can't be the book sale, it has to be bigger than that. Does that make sense? If it makes sense to you, hashtag makes sense. So last week we talked about the pitch list, and I'm going to get right into why I said that. Right. All right. So your second tool will be a targeted pitch list. You will need at some point some type of targeted pitch list, because I don't know about you, but if you're an aspiring author, if you are an emerging author, or you're an established author, do you have a pitch list? Do you have a pitch list of the organizations and the companies that you want to pitch your book to, or even paid speaking engagements for that matter. Do you have a targeted pitch list? And what do I mean by targeted pitch list? I mean that you are, there's a number of people or organizations that you would like to go and speak and get paid, right? Good morning, Paulette. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for tuning in. So again, good morning, Nakaya. Good morning, Dr. Laquita. Good morning, Kitty. Good morning. Y'all are up. All right, all right. Good morning, Tina. All right. So again, you will need a targeted pitch list. If your goal is to go and get paid to speak or go and do book signings, you're going to need a targeted pitch list. Now, I'm going to say this for people who are in business. I don't care if you're not an author. I don't care if you don't have no, reason to write a book. But if you're selling a product, a physical product or a service, you need some type of ebook, right? So that you can make additional income, right? And in this ebook, you may have um you may have someone who needs what you have just on a lower level. So there may be an ebook that somebody can, maybe you're a general contractor. I'll use this for my general contractors because I have GCs that follow me too. Maybe you can teach someone how to maybe help them with passing the course. I know I had someone attend one of my courses. She's a math teacher and she's really good at it. Shout out to Jakara Lewis. And she is really, really doing her thing. She pitched her book to colleges, Kaiser University, and Kaiser, they purchased her book so that people can pass the T's exam. So I'm saying she has big goals for her book. So what she's done now is made her book a series so that they're buying these books in bulk. So I'm telling you, like, your book will go as far as you want it to go. It will not sell itself. If you don't think it could go far, it's not going far. If you're wanting to get into bookstores, organizations to pitch for paid speaking engagements, you're going to need a targeted pitch list, right? Again, I talked about this in the beginning. You need a plan. You need a plan of where you're going. When I wrote my very first book, I created a business plan. You can go back in YouTube and see it. Listen, I had a physical business plan for Ready, Set, Go. I was not playing with my book. My goal was not to be, I'm not, I don't get caught up in titles because the assignment that I have, the title does not matter. Specifically when the impact matters more than the title, right? So a lot of times we get caught up on, I need to be a certified this and a certified that. Let me tell you something. If your book is going to change the lives of people and move these people to be better, that title doesn't matter. It's what you have to offer, the value that you're going to bring. If you look at a lot of millionaires, some of them dropped out of high school. I'm just saying, if you look up a lot of the celebrities, some of them dropped out of high school to pursue their dream and their vision. So they don't get caught up in the title. They just believed in themselves enough to know that they had something really good and they took off, right? Now, is there work? Absolutely. You got to put in the work. You have to put in the work. And that's going to require two things from you. And that's effort and time. I talk about this all the time. You must have two things, and that's effort and time. But one thing that you can't be taught, and that is drive. Drive has to be in you. So this targeted list need to include the following. I know I got off on a tangent, but I wanted y'all to hear that because it's so important. So some may be saying, well, Stephanie, what's included in a targeted pitch list? So here are a few of many, which are, you need a name and location of the bookstore. If you're pitching to bookstores, you're going to need a name and location of the bookstore, right? You got to have a name. Again, this is a plan. This is all about the plan. Number two, you need to have, if you're pitching for paid speaking engagements, You need to know the name and location of the organization that you are pitching to. Again, these are simple tips, and a lot of authors are leaving this off their plan because they don't even know that this is what they need. We hear a lot of people, it's a lot of noise out here on the social media streets. Everybody want to tell you the how. The what. Nobody wants to tell you how to do it. So I'm going to tell you how to do it, right? What you need, right? This what's included in the targeted pitch list, right? Number 3, you need to contact of the decision maker at the organizations, the bookstores, whoever you're pitching to. You need to get the contact of the person who is making the things happen. The event planner, if you're going to speak at conferences or you're going to speak at a corporation, these are the people that you need to, like, this is just 3 of many, right? These are 3 of many. And I go into more detail in the how I turned my $20 book into a 5-figure business workshop. So again, these 2 tools, these are the things that you really need to have, like, now. Like, this is something that you need to have in order to generate more book sales. Now, again, I know a lot of authors who are in the process that you're writing books. You're putting out more books than people even know about you. And focus on the first thing first, which is that one book that is going to make major impact. When I wrote Ready, Set, Go, my goal was not only to get book sales, but my goal was to go further. In my thought process, it was, okay, after these book sales, then what's next? And so what I did, I went on a nationwide book tour because that's what I wanted to do. That was a dream of mine. I wanted to get my book in the hands of as many people in the United States as I possibly could, and I made it happen, right? I didn't have a publicist. I just had a vision, and that vision was a map, pen, and a planner, a moleskin. Let me show you my moleskin, y'all. These are the bomb. Like, I'm telling you, these moleskins, it's MOLESKIN. I'm telling you, they are the bomb. And I have like stacks on stacks of those that I write my goals in. Some of you are just going by the fly. You're just keeping everything in your mind, and you got to write it out. You got to write the vision and make it plain, right? You got to write the vision. And some of us have vision, but the vision is in our mind. The vision is in our mind, and you got to write it down in order for you to take the first step. So again, this is what you need for your targeted pitch list. This is some of many that is included in the pitch list. The name and location of the bookstores, the name and location of organizations, and number 3, contact of the decision maker. Now remember, and I'm going to say this for the people in the back, you got to think past the book sale. I don't care how many books you have written or co-authored, you must think past the book sale. You can take your book or your chapter, if you're a part of an anthology, and you could create so many things. You could leverage that and create a business around that. I'm just saying. So, does that make sense? I see Dr. Laquita said hashtag makes sense. All right. So here's the next step. This is the next step, because I promise you, I told you I wasn't going to keep you guys long, right? This is the next step. The next step is select the email marketing software that works for you. Maybe you want maybe you like MailChimp. Like I said, MailChimp, Constant Contact, MailerLite, all of those are good. I prefer ConvertKit because it is a simplistic email marketing software, and I don't have to sit and wait. It's not technical or antiquated, right? So again, select the email marketing software that you're comfortable with using, right? And then Second, you want to create a targeted pitch list. I talked about this last week. You need a targeted pitch list when you're pitching organizations to go get paid to speak, or when you're pitching bookstores when you're wanting to go and do a book signing. All of those two things is opportunities for you to get paid and generate more income. Okay? Now, I want you to save the date if you have not already. August 18th, next Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I will be hosting my How I Turned My $20 Book into a Five-Figure Business. I know you hear this six-figure thing out here on the streets, but everybody's not ready for six figures. Everybody's not ready. They're not at that point yet. So I'm starting from the beginning because I truly believe in you got to focus on one thing first, and then you build up to six figures. Now, six figures is for the people who are ready to scale, and you may be ready to scale at the $20 at the five figure, but this is for the people who have the authors who don't know what to do next after the book sale is done, right? And if you have published a book and you're ready to go, you want to do something else, come join us. So here's what you will learn. You'll learn how to build a six-figure author brand before selling your book. You'll know what tools you'll need to use to create a successful marketing strategy. And you'll also know how to pitch your book to bookstores, organizations, and corporations. Now, again, remember, there is a way that you pitch these organizations. I remember Paulette, if she's still tuning in. Paulette came to one of my book signings at Barnes and Noble, and it was amazing. And I didn't have a publicist. And I just knew that I wanted more for my book than just Amazon #1 bestseller or New York Times #1 bestseller. Now, there's nothing wrong with those things. Let me say that. There is nothing wrong if your goal is to have Amazon #1 bestseller or New York Times #1 bestseller. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that. But again, like I said, I had a different goal for this book. My goal was to get this book in as many hands as I possibly could in the United States, right? And being Amazon #1 bestseller wasn't going to do that for me. I needed to have a different strategy. So again, you have to figure out before you get this physical copy in your hand, what is the goal for your book? So if you have your physical copy in your hand, and as you can see, the books are different because this is my second edition of my first book. So I did a second edition of Ready, Set, Go. You can find it on stephaniewynn.com. I did a second edition of this book, and because I wanted it to go further, right? Again, you have to be in a position to go further with your book but it starts with your mind first. It starts with your mind. So that being said, go ahead and save the date, sign up August 18th, 2022, 6 p.m. That is the How I Turned My $20 Book into a Five-Figure Business. Now, I know, and I'll put the banner across, but I want to say something to my author community, right? Some of you, maybe your goal is to make more book sales. Maybe your goal is to make more book sales. But in order for you to make more book sales, it's going to require you to put in work. I know a lot of authors, if you aspire to be an author, if you journal, if you're some of you may be journaling, and your journal really is the content for your book. So stop overthinking it, get the book done, and be intentional about getting this book written and published. But more importantly, have a plan and goal for your book. Like, why did you write this book? Does your book impact and empower people? Does your book, or are you just writing this for notoriety purposes? I'm just saying. You have to have, a plan for your book, because if there's no plan, then what will happen is you'll get the book, you'll do your book launch party, you'll have friends, you'll sell to your friends and family, then the buzz will die down, and then what? Your book should serve a purpose to a specific community of people. And who are those people? I'm just saying. So again, I'm your girl Stephanie A. Win. If you have any questions, if you're catching this on the replay, hit hashtag replay. If you have any questions about, the pitch list, again, we talked about your pitch list needs to be a targeted list of the people that you're going to be serving. Does that make sense? The people that you want to go speak at, and the people, the organizations that you want to get paid speaking engagements, and the bookstores that you want to go and do book signings. So it could be independent bookstores, it could be Barnes and Noble. You can even I've seen authors in Sam's Club. No lie. I've seen authors do a book signing in Sam's Club. Real, that's real. So that was a really good marketing strategy, because guess what? The people, and they sat them right there in front of right as you walk into Sam's, by the books. And the people were buying the book. Like, it was lines around the corner. So again, your book will go as far as you want it to go, but you got to have a strategy. You're definitely going to need an email marketing software when you're pitching to these organizations, because in the email marketing software, you can tag the organizations as, a sequence, like your sequence, and you can tag the people so you'll know, okay, this is for this particular type of organizations. Maybe you're pitching to nonprofit organizations where you want to speak. Maybe you're pitching to for-profit organizations that focuses on women entrepreneurs, right? So you tag them, but you got to have you got to start somewhere, right? So again, I'm your host, Stephanie A. Win. Happy Friday. Enjoy your weekend. And until next time, bye.